All right, everybody, welcome to Yapping Walter's podcast. And today we have a guest. And introduce yourself.
Greetings, everyone. Name's KoiKitsu. I'm a VTuber and your local Werefox bartender, as well as also aspiring voice actor and etc., for many other things.
All right. Uh, tell people that if they don't know you, like if they haven't watched your streams or your content in general, what do you stream?
Usually, when I stream, I mostly stream on Twitch, and if for content-wise, I've been heavily focusing on more recent games lately. I play Marvel Rivals, Zenless Zone Zero, but I also play a bit of Phasmophobia with collabs, and also with Fortnite, and I also play a lot of retro games. I've played all the Final Fantasies on the stream, a couple of other like big indie cult hits and whatnot. It's I play whatever interests me.
In a nutshell, like it's your you stream like whatever you want, basically.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of like retro game. What's your take that? What is the best retro game out there?
It really depends on
or your favorite, or your favorite.
If we're going full retro,
yep.
Pokemon Blue. I've actually gone back to it and played it again. Like I think it's just because it's a nostalgic thing. When I was a kid, that's one of my favorite. That was one of my only games I had when I was a kid, so I played that. But old Zeldas are always fun, and any RPGs. I'm like Pokemon and Final Fantasy are just turn-based RPGs. I love turn-based RPGs.
I have to say that I now, when like I tried to get into turn-based games, like in general, not just RPG, turn-based games, but never got into them except when Baldur's Gate 3 was released. I love that game.
Everybody gets back to that same game. I know people wanting me to play it. I need to get them together and play it.
The way how the game got me interested. Well, I saw the state of play. State of play trailer like a year before it was released. Like state of play trailer, I was like, this looks great. Didn't know that it was Baldur's Gate 3 afterwards. I didn't pay attention. I was like, oh, great. Then when the game got closer to launch, like I saw articles like game developers like complaining about like it's too high standards. I was like, huh? What? Okay, let's buy this shit and let's play it. And then after 120 hours, loved it. And I believe this is just my take on it. But like I believe people love it for the players. Like players can do basically whatever they want, and they can choose how to approach a situation however they want. It basically is the freaking game for players' freedom to do whatever they want.
I don't like games with a little bit of freedom, but when it comes to like, sometimes I don't like it when it's too free. Like there's too much. Like Power World's something that's a little too open for my opinion. Like there's too much to do. There's too much focus. Like I miss the days when I'm just like Pokemon. Like people are like, oh, it's better than Pokemon. I'm like, better than modern Pokemon, mostly because modern Pokemon will never let you go and never like stop holding your hand. Like it's constantly trying to tell you what to do. Back in the day, old Pokemon, that was fun. If they let out a new one like that, I'd rather play that than Power World. But I don't know. It's something about having too much freedom in a game. I kind of want to be on a little bit of railing.
I understand completely, but and also I would say it's the best way to get into D&D. I would say if you are like a gamer, because there isn't. If I believe there's not too many D&D games out there. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but like Dungeons and Dragons, because Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, there's Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and the Dark Alliance, but I don't believe it. There's any else.
I actually got into D&D on the tabletop, so.
Yeah, I do believe that's like most people get it, but like if you are a gamer and never cared, like I'm probably never gonna care about like playing like D&D tabletops. I don't know. It's just not for me. So
it's an experience to actually have the dice in your hand and throw them. And considering I have horrible luck with dice, I have horrible luck. Period. My luck sucks. But like, when you throw the dice, it's an interesting feeling to have that.
I get that, and I'm not here to bash anyone who plays because well, I don't. It's just not for me. I am a gamer. My monkey brain is too simple. Too simple to get into tabletop, so that's my problem, and I know it. But like,
yeah, it's complex. It's kind of luckily it's not as bad as Warhammer.
Yeah, Warhammer is well fucking try to get into Warhammer. Yeah, that's good luck. Like, I tried like at some point like a few years ago. I was like, Warhammer, this looks interesting. Then I looked it up. The lore. Yeah, I'm not getting into this shit.
The lore is fun. It's just goofy, but like what scares me away is the investment into it. You need a map, you need a setup, you need figures. Most people who are purists paint their own figurines. I'm like, I already don't have enough time for it. Even streaming, I'm not adding this.
Yeah, like, and also like the problems with Warhammer is like with me like where I do start. What is the beginning of the freaking story, or where I should start, or what is the end point, or whatever. Like,
There is none.
That's I was just going to say there's probably no end point, and I'm a person who says all the time that every story should have an opening and an ending. There's no point of continuing story like 20 seasons, 30 seasons, 40 seasons. I'm looking at you, One Piece, or soap operas.
To be fair for One Piece, they're getting there. It's just a really long story. It's when people, and it's the same author. He's making the same story slowly but surely. It's when people sell it and then some soulless corporation, Disney, buys something and then starts like remaking new stories that have no connection to the old, and like that's when I get annoyed. If they're like it's the same, if it's just a really long ass story from the same author, I don't mind. It's when the other shit happens that gets annoying.
And like that's probably the reason why I'm gonna watch the freaking One Piece anime remake when that comes out, because well it's probably gonna be way short than the ongoing anime.
Yeah, it's freaking One Piece abridged. That's what that is.
And it's from Wit Studio, and I like Wit Studio's work, so that's also a plus side on my end. But like, yeah.
Speaking of which, that one's doing okay, but I'm just curious, like when they're doing all that live action, I'm like, how are you gonna handle Skypiea? How are you gonna handle Water 7? How are you gonna handle Ennis Lobby? How are you gonna handle like Wano? There's so many things that like you can do anything in animation, but like how on earth they are going to handle, because this is gonna break the budget if they try to do some of that story like that.
Yeah, but if you have a creative director or people who like choose the freaking scenes or do the planning of the scenes with like director, if they have a creative enough of a person there, they can do it, but it's gonna be a challenge. And like that comes to every anime or an animation that comes to live action, it's gonna be a challenge. Usually from Disney at least, it's sucks or it's mediocre. It's not the better than the original. But like there's always it's a possibility to make it good with good people or the right people for the job. And that's like for the reason like I'm hoping that the freaking I believe it's cancelled, which is I'm happy. The Attack on Titan live action movies that were supposed to come out like way back got cancelled, probably. At least they are not happening. I'm happy for that, because Attack on Titan wouldn't work in a live action, in my opinion. Because
every time I think about live action, it didn't work. I remember Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and there is a live action Attack on Titan movie which is horrendous. Japanese filmmakers did that, and it looked horrible. The titles look horrible. It looked puke, basically. Like, tell me a freaking there is good live actions. Like, I would say Detective Pikachu is a good live action. Because the setting and the setting worked. Setting works. Like Pokemon works in a live action. Same as Sonic. They
didn't try to interpret the story. They made a new story in the universe. Like, One Piece is going down the dangerous path. They're trying to interpret the actual story, so we'll see what they can get done.
I would say that works with like when adapting a anime or manga to live action, but that doesn't work with games. Because when, like, for example, Halo, the TV show is ass.
All right, now that's not because they didn't interpret it right. That's because they were trying to insert bullshit, and it was a bunch of people who weren't fans who didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, and they basically made a completely different timeline and universe. They actually said that, and that's what I mean. Like, when a company who's making a game adaptation, like Paramount did with Halo, they didn't respect the source material. They didn't respect Master Chief. He freaking doesn't wear his helmet most of the time. And who the hell wanted a sex scene in Halo? Who wanted that?
That's a good example. Like, I'm watching a series with a girl, with a friend of mine, and she's a big fan of it. It's called The Bridgertons, and it's based off of a series of books from someone who I've actually read. And when I watched the series, like, she's telling me all the changes they've made to it. And I'm like, this is getting damn near to not being the book. It's getting, because they do this so often. It's like people will get a hold of a good story or something that people like, and then they'll start changing stuff to where, like, I'm like, are we still in the same story? Because, like, nothing is resembling that book anymore.
Yeah, it's sad. And there's good examples when you just take an existing lore and adapt it, or existing source material, and adapt it in a new form, but respecting at the same time. Fallout, the TV show. That's a new story, but it's set in a like, you know, the Fallout. There's like there's reference to the games. Like, there's the freaking, sorry, spoilers, there's like places from the games and characters from the games. And I love that show. And that I feel like that I'm hoping the next season, the season 2, is gonna be as great. But like, that's a perfect example when they wanna make something new in a existing source material, and it works. That's the perfect example, in my opinion. Although I haven't watched.
I'm glad one of them worked because, like, Fallout's not one of my. I've never actually played the games, so I'm completely I'm not 100% clueless. I've, like, watched videos on the lore, but, like, it's just not my wheelhouse.
Yeah, and I only played, like, Fallout New Vegas, so that's why I know some.
That's what everybody does. Everybody plays New Vegas.
It's the best one. It's like. That game also is, you can do almost whatever you want. Like killing like a main boss doesn't affect the main story. Like, if you kill the main boss early, it doesn't affect. There's like somebody just replaces him or the main boss as a new, and then you can do something in an early act, and then you'll see what happens in the later acts in the story, which is good. And Obsidian, that, by the way, that's not a Bethesda game. Bethesda published it, but it's not a Bethesda game. That's why it's way better, because Bethesda game, your game design is old ass, and your engine sucks. I hate Starfield was a game for me that I was waiting a good time, because Mass Effect is probably my favorite games, I've been wanting a space RPG game, but and then when I saw Starfield, looks great, but then when I played it, the biggest disappointment that I had, and I'm blaming all the freaking fault with that game, with Bethesda's own game engine. Freaking that engine sucks in general. Like, it's
Tom Howard's an ass, so that just explains everything.
Yeah, he's not a good freaking. I would say he's not a good game director, but he's a good salesman. I would say that's probably the case. Like, he can, and like I like his work, like the past work, like with Skyrim, Oblivion, Fallout 3, and that stuff. But the game design with Bethesda's game nowadays, it's old, it's outdated. Please hire some new people. Hire some people from, I don't know, CD Projekt Red or Rockstar, or from different companies that make modern RPG games with their designs. They are better, even though maybe their game isn't, but their game design is way better. like I'm way like. At least with like CD Projekt Red, they launched Cyberpunk in an ass state. It was completely broken, but at least they fixed it, and hopefully, we don't know it because we have to be skeptical. Better to be skeptical than be overhyped or hyped and then just be blindsided. But be skeptical, and I'm skeptical with Witcher 4. I'm hopeful it's gonna turn out great, and I'm hoping they learn from their mistakes. But Bethesda will not learn with Elder Scrolls 6. And by the way, didn't that game like got announced like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago or something? Which like that? The freaking Elder Scrolls 6.
You got me. Again, that's a game I don't play and I have no clue. A lot of those like dungeon crawlers like that, I'm not a fan of. Like, it's like when you're moving around, it's like the weapons don't feel real because like when I swing it, it feels just like I'm swiping. Like I just like it just does not interest me. I'm like, ugh.
I know game development takes time, but come on, please, game companies don't announce games that like, don't put an announcement trailer like, I don't know, 10 years ago, and then just like 10 years ago, then 10 years later after that game, publish it. No, thank you. In my eyes, the perfect like the way to put game trailers, like at maximum 4 years before, or 3 years before the game comes out, like a teaser trailer, and then year after that, like a full-on trailer, and then after year after that, then the second trailer, and of course then have a launch trailer, because every game nowadays does that. At least I feel like it.
Well, it reminds me of like the movies, like when it comes to Disney and like Star Wars. Like I remember when they first started coming out with the sequels, like they had like all these other movies that were coming out. Like half of them didn't even make it to full production. I'm like, why y'all promising shit you can't even do? It's like going to a fast food restaurant. And they're like, we're gonna put out all these different kind of new foods and burgers, and I'm like, then half of them are like, oh, realize nobody wants this slop, so then they stop. I'm like, why y'all going like this? Like, just give it time. Let things come naturally. Let the story develop. Why are you trying to like feed us this?
And the funniest thing is, Disney is still doing that. That they announce like new stuff for Star Wars, and half of them at least will not get made.
They're slowly learning, not fast, but slowly.
Like, the saddest thing is like George Lucas, whatever your like everyone's opinions about the like George Lucas movies, like the prequels, he had a plan for 7, 8, 9. Why just Disney couldn't just use that?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no, because they were like, oh, you know what, we want to do something. I'm not gonna say with this, so he just did something with it. But also like Lucas, I'm like, Yeah, he had a plan for it, but also if half of what he says is true, I'm like, dude, thank God you didn't do it either, because you were acting senile shit. You would have changed too much. What is wrong with you guys?
Like if I remember correctly, and I believe the story like was about Darth Maul being the main bad guy, and he would have a apprentice like Darth Talon, I believe her name is, and then that story would be the main character in that trilogy would have been Leia. I will rather take that than the sequels. Like Force Awakens, yeah, it's basically carbon copy of New Hope. It's okay.
When people started freaking out about it when it first came out, I'm like, what are y'all doing? This is just episode 4.
It's an okay movie, but carbon copy. It's the best one in the trilogy, but it's not. Thanks for being a good movie. Thanks for being a classical tale.
Thanks for being a rerun.
Yeah. Last Jedi, I don't hate it as much than people, but I dislike it very much. I dislike what they did with Luke, because Luke isn't like that.
It's not Luke.
It's not Luke. It's an old, grumpy person. And then Rise of Skywalker. It's better than Last Jedi, but it's not. It's hard to improve from garbage.
The freaking dagger, which is also a map, which lines up with a piece of ship which has landed on the planet for decades and has not magically eroded to where it went. I'm like, dude, like the most random shit could have happened on that thing. Like, what are you talking? Like, the story made no sense. The characters made no sense. Nothing made any sense.
And like, I believe J.J. Abrams said this in an article, in an interview, like they didn't have a plan. And it shows that they didn't have a plan.
Disney period. Didn't have a plan.
And like, puts like, in my eyes, I would be like I would get sequels out of the canon. Like they are, in my opinion, they are not part of the canon, but officially they are. Like hires like a Kevin Feige or James Gunn type of a person who plans everything around like Star Wars, and who's the person with the idea of the story. Please do that. That would be, well, in my eyes, hire Dave Filoni. His stuff I liked the most. I liked Clone Wars, and I liked Rebels, and I liked some stuff from the modern, but they are not as, of course, like there's the piece of ass of a show named Acolyte that everybody hates.
Oh my god!
Like I do.
Again, it's what I said earlier. It's like when you have people who just like, well, they'll show up and they'll start doing stuff, and it has no relation or no connection whatsoever to the actual story. I'm like, the witch, and then they'll start making massive changes to like the basic lore, like changing the Jedi, changing their behavior, changing this. There's now a change that like so much stuff starts altering, and I'm like, dude, why are you doing this? Like, it becomes a completely different story that has nothing to do with it. You're just using the skin suit of a popular genre because your own story can't stand on its own 2 feet.
Yeah, and whoever decided to put Darth Plagueis in there, yeah, thanks for ruining that character.
Wait, Plagueis was in there?
Yeah, he in Acolyte, in the ending, I don't give a shit if anyone hasn't seen that, and I hope nobody sees that, but in the ending, there's the last scene, there's a Yoda, and then Darth Plagueis is in there creeping around like an old dude watching people in debate. That's not Plagueis.
Wait, I thought Acolyte was like after the movies.
No, Acolyte takes place 100 years before Phantom Menace.
Okay, I guess that works.
Yeah, but like still, Darth Plagueis isn't a old man in a cave staring to people like an old creep. And the funniest thing is, like, before Phantom Menace, the only apprentice that Darth Plagueis had was Palpatine, and not the freaking main characters of like the one of the main characters of Acolyte. So
yeah, they keep changing lore. to where it fits what they want for a story. I'm like, write your own. Just write your freaking own.
Like, respect the
Like
source material, but write it your own. There's
Knights of the Old Republic. Just do that. Just do a Knights of the Old Republic story.
yeah,
Go back in time, talk about how when they're Sith and Jedi and everything, just make that event. Like, there's so much stuff that, like, why not make stories about, like, when Dooku fought the Mandalorians? There's none of that story. And, oh god, the Mandalorian. Jesus save me.
the season 1 and 2 were, in my opinion, good, but the season 3, well, that's ass. But like you said, just why not go like 1,000 years way to the past or 1,000 years like ahead of the future?
Because they need those member berries to get people's attention.
They need the legacy characters, like they need Yoda, they need Luke or whatever, like, because like I don't care about like most of the new characters like at all.
I am very sad by the new movies. Is like when they brought out like Finn and they had Rey and everything. The opening scenes, I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. They're copying a lot of the original movie because they're trying to get people's like interest. Because they're like, hey, it's like we're going back to the old guard and everything. Because even though I love the prequels, I think they're very well made. Like a lot of people don't like them, so they're kind of like, hey, we're going back to like the other older ones. And I see what they're doing. I see how they're making it, and like I see the potential in Rey. I see the potential in Finn. There's so much potential there, and it just stays there. Nothing's done with it. It's like watching a fertile field of like crops just go fallow. Nobody tends them. Nobody cares for them. They get weeds all over them, and they just die because nobody's trying to take care of them.
That's accurate, and the problem, I will give Rise of Skywalker a prop that Ian McDermott plays Palpatine fantastically, like he does.
Yeah, he always does. The man has been playing that character for years. Because like I think he was like one of the voice actors for like the show too, wasn't
he? Yes, I believe he was the main. I was actually he was. They replaced Palpatine's voice because like they did almost with every character in Clone Wars, but he was voicing the character in the beginning of the show, but then they replaced him because like they replaced basically everyone from the freaking movies. But also, but like if when Ian passes away, give Palpatine's role to Sam Witwer. He did if somebody has played Force Unleashed, you'll have heard Sam Witwer's Palpatine's voice, which is basically, I would say, the same, or at least very same to Ian McDermott, and he does fantastic.
Well, that's what they're saying about Luke too. Is like when Luke came around and they did the deep fake where he showed up on Mandalorian, like they were talking about that too. Like there's this other guy who could have easily played him and taken over the role from
Mark
Hamill, because like Mark's getting up there.
Yeah, and like,
how old is he now? I'm gonna look that up.
I believe like some people said like hire Sebastian Stan as a new like Luke because they look somewhat similar. Well, if I do appreciate if they wanna try to like deepfake Luke to be young, but like just hire a younger actor who looks like somewhat like Mark did in his younger age, like,
super young before the car wreck.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. Well, or if they, I'm not saying anything. But like if the actor is really wanting to look like Mark to do the same car crash.
Oh my god.
No, I'm joking. No, don't do that. But
okay, what we need is some oil slicks. Johnny, you cut the brakes. Tom, make sure to get him some liquor before he leaves with Barg. Okay, boys, break.
But like with the power of makeup, you could look like Mark Hamill after the car crash.
I've seen a ton of people do like hire some cosplayers for God's sake. They're far more talented than most of your freaking costume directors.
Yeah, it's not like, because the fans are passionate about like I would say every fandom is passionate about like that axe thing. Like, Well, I know Star Wars fans are that they don't know what they want. Like that, I would say that's the most accurate thing. Star Wars fans, they don't know what they want, except good stories. That's the what we want. And from Disney, that really hasn't happened. And
it's always funny to me whenever they do this comparison. It's like when you're like because everybody always makes adult movies, and then they're like, like, what is wrong with you when the adult movie does a better job of being more faithful to the canon than you?
That's sad commentary in and of itself. And like Disney, little tip: don't do a Pirates of the Caribbean 6 without Johnny. That's my wish.
Oh God.
Or
they could have set it up. They could have set it up in the past movies to where it could have been a handoff. I mean, like, I know he's got like, he's had so many lovers. He's got to have a kid somewhere out there, or like, even one of the younger pirates, like the young boy who was like with the mermaid. Like, you could have set him up. Like, you could have set up so many of these younger characters to be the next pirate. Like, if they're good, but they're too reliant on the big success they've had. I mean, and they kind of have, if they want to continue the series, which they shouldn't, like, it's gonna be kind of hard because like Johnny is the face of it, just like so many other characters are face of the series. But also, can we just stop? Like, when you guys broke Will's curse, it wasn't a curse. The guy already broke the damn thing. What were you breaking?
Well, they broke the freaking Jesus Christ. They basically made him mortal again, I would say, because like
but he wasn't cursed like Davy Jones. They just threw that in there so they could do that.
Well,
like, yeah, he was stuck on the Flying Dutchman, but he wasn't cursed. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but at least he's still in after like Dead Man Tell No Tales or Salazar Revenge, whichever you know the movie one, because those two are the same name, the same movie. But like, anyways, at least they are like less mortal, I would say. But like, they I don't hate Dead Man Tell No Tales. It's the least good Pirates movie. Yes, that's no like it has its good moments, but in my opinion, Jack
the villain. The villain was so good, and I feel like it's wasted on that movie. Because the design, the appearance, the history of it, how he's like Johnny's very first adversary. I'm like, dude, it's so good, and y'all wasted it on this garbage story.
And my problem with the freaking movie also that this I don't know, Disney or Jerry Buckerham, or I don't know which one, but somebody hired the two Norwegian directors that all, in my knowledge, they only directed like ads, which is like, no, don't do that. Hire freaking some like known film director to film or somebody who understands pirates movies. Like,
didn't they do that with Game of Thrones? Like the two guys that directed season 8, didn't they like direct like one other thing before that?
Yeah, I believe. Like, at least they directed like like something other than an ad. So if somebody gets like hired to direct like a movie, but they have only directed like ads or music videos, I'm like, is this a good idea? No.
Hey, let's have some like testing ground on that. Like you've only directed music videos. Okay, how about you first direct this smaller movie, and then we'll see how you work out.
Yeah, and also movie companies, it's not. Don't please be the mentality that like this has to be like a freaking box office bust that makes a lot of money.
Yeah, let's stop with the blockbusters. Not everything's gonna be a damn blockbuster. Let's just have a good movie, something that's just simple and enjoyable.
And the fact is, the first movie will, like, if the movie has a series, like 3 movies or something like that, the first one will never sell the biggest. That will not ever happen. If because like if they made a sequel for acting, people love the first one, they will go and watch the second one more because they loved it, and people are more curious about the sequel. And like, don't ever be the side of the money, be the result. Like, yeah, you made money, whoop-a-doo, yes, that's great. You pay the people who made the worked on the movie, yada yada yada. Yes, that's good. But first the thing is, make a good movie or a good series. Don't think about the money. The money will come afterwards. It's not about the money. Like look at Godzilla and X Kong movies. They're dumb fun. They still make money. They are dumb fun.
Yep. No one cares about plot. Stop worrying about plot. Just put more big monkey and big lizard in.
Yeah, that's why like most of, I would say actually 99% people go in to watch those movies. To watch a dumbass fun movies, which I never understand why movie reviewers give the freaking Godzilla movie or the Kaiju movies in general like 5 or 4 out of 10. Like, bro, it's not a drama story. You're here to watch.
The story between the people were very weak. Like, no one even notices the people. Shut up.
I'm like, I want to watch dumbass big things to fight. I'm here for that. I'm not here for drama. I'm not like fucking, when you go to watch a fucking Star Wars movie, you are expecting lightsabers and blasters, not fucking drama freaking soap opera shite. Or
yeah, the most we get out of that is freaking Luke and Leia. Like, have a short love story and then just carry on.
Yeah, and nobody cares about that. Like in the next movie, or when you go and watch Lord of the Rings movie, you will expect hobbits, orcs, hobbits. Like I said, dragons, somebody.
Dragons, elves, ents.
Yeah. Like, you expect the fantasy type of things in there. Like, every movie has their expectations. If I see a freaking James Bond movie, I'm gonna expect guns, James Bond, MI6, and that. I'm not expecting the freaking James Bond to be an activist. I'm not expecting that. Oh god.
People are like, oh, politics have been in movies and stuff. Yeah. Subtle. Be subtle. Stop slamming us over the head with a sledgehammer, you asshats.
Like, or when I'm playing I don't know, Borderlands 2, I'm expecting dumb fun, dumb looter shooter.
Speaking of which, how did you like Jack Black as whatever the hell his name is in that movie?
Claptrap. I didn't even watch the movie because like I didn't give a shit about it because I don't feel like it worked.
That's what I keep hearing. Most people are just like, nah, I didn't even bother going. It just doesn't work. I'm like, good. Like, I'm not even a fan of the series. I haven't even played it.
In the freaking trailers, when I heard Jack Black's voice, I said, yeah, I would say it was okay. It's okay, but also the movie doesn't work because nobody in the cast fits the characters, I would say.
Well, again, that's just like the whole thing of like they're trying to go with really big names just so they can get people in seats. They're not bothering with like writing a good story.
Also, Jack Black, I like you, but please don't be in every fucking movie.
Oh my god. Well, him and like that's the thing. Like, there's always those actors like, oh my god, like, dude, turn down a role.
Like,
and he's one of them.
Every actor doesn't fit like every freaking role or genre. It doesn't work like that. Freaking drama actor doesn't fit in a like horror movie, I would say, or a like I would say Mark Hamill doesn't fit in a like freaking I don't know well, he probably would have worked. He could have probably.
You pick a bad choice on him because he's a voice actor too, and voice actors are like they do everything. He's been in freaking Miyazaki films. He's been in Batman. He's he's been in way too much. Like a good example, like Tim Curry.
Yeah,
He could not like he can't be. Don't expect him to be like a really good superhero. He's not. He's a villain. He plays villains. He's god level as a villain. He's epically fun as a villain. Like that's the most interesting part about him. When he's like in Home Alone, he's not a villain, but he's still a bad guy, and he's fun to watch as a bad guy. When he's in Legend, he's the devil himself. He's fun. When he's in Muppet Treasure Island, he's a villain, but he's a funny villain. Like he can play permutations of villain, or like when he was in what was it? I think he was in Freakazoid, or when he's in Gargoyles. Like in anything he's ever played, 90% of the time the man is a villain, and he works it better than anybody else.
Isn't Tim Curry the original Pennywise that basically traumatized?
He's the original one from the TV show.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
Again.
And that role traumatized like a whole like that role traumatized whole generation. Like,
look, Tommy, do you want to go play with kids? No. They're over there in the sewer. There's clowns. They have strange British accents.
And I liked Scar freaking what the hell? I forgot his first name. Bill Skarsgård in the new It movies. He's fantastic in role, but everybody will probably remember Tim Curry as the Pennywise. Well, he did okay.
It's gonna be hard to forget him.
Yeah,
like, he is so absolutely memorable. Like he's just beyond forgetting because he made the show. Because like everybody read, of course, it's a freaking Stephen King book.
Yeah.
Of course, people read the book. It was a bestseller, despite the sewer scenes with the kids. But like the thing that really put it in the pop culture memory hole was Curry and that stupid clown outfit in that TV show.
Exactly, and I would have loved him to be more in the show, like in the miniseries. Because I loved him in that. He's fantastic.
I'm surprised. Like I don't know if I think he's like got health issues. So I don't think he can act anymore. But like I would have been loved it had he had like a cameo or something just popped up.
Well, he doesn't have a cameo, but he's like clown costume has a cameo in the original. When I believe it's Richie or whoever who has the clown fear. Maybe Eddie or Richie. Somebody gets trapped in a room full of clowns. There's they are puppet clowns. Like one of the puppets are like the original the original Pennywise with the costume.
That's the best way to do it. Like you don't need to constantly drag lore characters and constantly drag stuff in there to continuity that don't make sense. Have just a nod, like Easter eggs. Easter eggs are so perfect for it. Those are the best ways to do like member berries, of just like have something in the background that people with a very careful eye will notice. That way people will go back and watch your movie again. Because like, oh my God, what did I miss? What did I miss? And they'll keep looking because that like, oh my God, there it is. That's the item from episode 6 and the 5th time when they actually went in the background. Like people will go crazy about that stuff. You don't need to shove it in people's face. Make it subtle.
Exactly.
Somebody will notice.
Exactly. And like if you are gonna like I don't know remake It 2017 was basically doing a new version of the miniseries.
Wait, was it 2017?
Yeah, the first the chapter 1.
Oh my God, what happened to time? That's almost a decade.
2 years. It's gonna be decade around 2 years, a little bit more 2 years, but anyways.
Where did time go? I just saw that recently. I was looking online. I was practicing some voice lines and stuff like that, and I was like, let me practice Death from Puss in Boots. What do you mean 2022? Where did 3 years go?
And It Chapter 2 was released in 2019. Oh.
Jesus.
Time is a scary thing that you'll never know how fast it goes, except when you realize that this movie came out like 20 years ago, or this movie came out 10 years ago when you watched it basically like recently.
Okay,
Like,
yeah, I'm not that bad. Yeah, I'm not bad. Like, 20 years ago. Like, I'm nothing from like 2005 is catching me off guard. Like, but dear God, some of this shit is catching me off guard.
with some things, I'm being like, this came out on like 2005 or 2006. Like Davy Jones CGI, I'm like really surprised. Like that came out like on the like 2005 and 2006 or 2005 and 2007. Like Dead Man's Chest and World's End, because like I'm really surprised by that CGI with David Jones. Holy cheese! Or like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out like almost over a decade ago, compared to like Skull and Bones. Well, it's freaking.
How did they mess up Skull and Bones? Because I bought that game, I pre-ordered that game 3 days ahead so I could play it. I barely got a day in.
The way what I have read and what I understand it and what I have read articles, because well, I when I saw the first cinematic on 2017 E3, I was like, finally a pirate game, because there's no pirate games basically out there except like Sea of Thieves and like Black Flag that are into my taste. But like when I saw that, like, ooh, but then it got delayed. The problem, I believe, was they had the concept, but then the first game director who had the vision left. Then the second one came out. He reworked the vision, changed a lot of things. Then he left, and then a new game came up. And then Singapore's government, because the game was developed in Singapore, was like, "You're gonna finish that game no matter what." And then they finished the game, and it turned out to be shite.
I'm just like, how did you fail? Like the guiding message, the guiding image. You had Black Flag.
Yeah.
Just make Black Flag pirate side more. Like,
And
what?
The funniest thing is that game budget was like 300 million, 400, 200 million.
You could have given me a quarter of that, and I could have gotten a better game out. Not even make games. Like, it was so stupid. Like,
yeah, that's like, it's sad. That's sad.
One of my biggest regrets of buying a game, and I almost never regret buying a game, even if it sucks.
At least the best thing out of Skull and Bones is the freaking Wellerman cover from Two-Way. That's the best. And the soundtrack, I would say, is good. Yeah, I know it's the songs are, at least there are a few new songs, but mostly it's from Black Flag and other like pirate mediums, but like still I like the soundtrack. Like it's difficult to guess how like it's freaking guessing game at this point. Like how you mess up a pirate game, like how? Like you need, if you wanna make a good pirate game, you need sea creatures like krakens, megalodons, like few toes.
Like, you don't even need that, because like Black Flag didn't have any of that.
Yeah, but like if you wanna make like more fun, but like if you wanna make a realistic type of a pirate game, make it like Black Flag, but like of course write your own story, etc. Like just look at that, like look at Black Flag, what they did, and then think what you will make it how. Like I don't wanna say copy it, like implement some aspects from that game and then do your own thing. But it's not hard. It's not hard, quote unquote, hard to freaking make a pirate, quote unquote. Yes, I know game development is long process, and yeah, I know that like it's the same way that it's not hard to imagine what kind of a game like Fallout would be. A shooter, a post-apocalyptic shooter. That's it. And that's like, and there are the Fallout aspect, yeah, blah blah blah. Like,
say copy stuff because like as long as you don't like as long as it's not absolute 100% carbon copy. I mean like there's nothing new under the sun. Like everybody could say, oh, like whoever made a platformer copied Mario. Like it doesn't matter. Like did you made your own story? Like Banjo-Kazooie is not a copy of Mario. It's its own story. It's its own interesting characters. It's its own designs. It's got its own movement. The only difference is it's a freaking jump and shoot. Like just do the same thing. Like make somebody be a. If you want to have a post-apocalyptic shooter, make a post-apocalyptic shooter. Just don't make it about people coming out of a vault after a nuclear war. Yeah. It's all about story.
Yeah, and like game development in a nutshell is modding. You take something from a game, you modify it how you would make it, and bada bim bada boom, you have a different game or different genres, or like I said, different games. Take something out of Black Flag and take something out of Sea of Thieves and modify it to your own taste, and bada bim bada boom, you have your own taste of a pirate game.
Something I think would have been awesome that they could have done for that is, so when you have Black Flag, have the sailing around as pirates, have the gunfights and the sword fights and everything, and they could have added a dueling feature where like you have like it's a quick time event where you fight and shoot. Like they could have done it so much, but like what I really wish they would have done is I miss these mechanics from like the really old Assassin's Creed. Is you could buy shops, and you could and they would be run by the NPCs for you, and every now and then you could run around, pick up the money from it, you get like a cut, and then you'd be able to use that to buy upgrades. And after a while, you could almost break the game because you could easily buy the best upgrades. And it was fun that way. It was fun being overpowered like that. But I can't remember which one it is. It's the Louisiana one, the Black Flag with the first woman in it. Because surprise, they had a female assassin long before they did that shit with frickin' Odyssey and everything else. And before they did the Viking one. But like when you were her, you could actually like set up your ships to sail certain routes because your father was the owner of a trade station. He could sail from point A to point B to point C and then pick up equipment and resources and sail this way. Oh no, pirates got it. Oh no, like having a trade empire you could build would have been so fun in that game. That's one of my favorite side mechanics from an Assassin's Creed game.
I try to remember what game that is, but I'm having.
Hold on, let me remember it.
The first.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, what's your take on Shadows?
That's exactly where I was gonna go. Okay, yeah, it's Assassin's Creed Liberation. That was her. It got such a good side game to it. But no, when it comes to Yasuke and everything, again, it's taking a basic story. You could have had Yasuke show up as like a side character, someone who just popped in, like, hey, here's Oda Nobunaga, and here's the big black guy he has as a samurai, as one of his retainers, because nobody in Japan's ever seen a black dude, and when they see this guy, they're scared of him. Because they're like, what the hell is that? Because he's like 6'6" and built like a freight train. Like that would have been like have him like a mini boss where you fight him. You don't kill him, but he's just like, wow, you're strong, you're a good fighter. Like have that. Like you don't need to make the entire game set in Japan about him and have freaking Afro Samurai. Like it makes no sense. Like, have him pop in there? Yeah, sure. It's a fun little, like, historical little Easter egg. But you don't need to make the whole game about him. It's pointless. Like, I don't know anything about the female protagonist because everybody's obsessed about Yasuke.
The female protagonist is, I believe, it's made up.
Oh, no, she is. Most protagonists are made up. Yasuke is the first actual historical character to be made as a playable character in one of these Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah,
and that's another issue.
Like the Assassin's Creed the game's never been historically accurate. The people like to say that they are more like we are gonna take this historical thing from the past, but we are gonna modify it to our own taste. That's always been us.
Here's what is historically accurate when it comes to Assassin's Creed: the level designs. When you go into the cathedrals in 1400s Italy, it's what they actually frickin' look like. When you're walking around in the temples in ancient Greece in 450 BC, it's what they actually looked like. That's what they got right. The outfits people are wearing, that's what they get right. When you're walking around in Norway and in England in freaking 800 AD, that is what they get right. They get that. That's the historical part.
Yeah,
you can fiddle with the actual history all you want. It's long enough in the past, even in freaking 1700. We don't know everything that happened. You can fill in those gaps with your little story. But when you start messing with shit to where it becomes, okay, no, we know that didn't happen. That's where we're having the problem.
Yeah, but like the characters of like Leonardo da Vinci, I don't know how he was. I don't remember how he was like in the like I don't know. I haven't read how
in the game.
Not, like he is his own character in the game versus how he was in the real life. I like that's like that's what Ubisoft writers do. Like they take historical at least some, I would say in most games they take like a historical character and they modify it how they want it to be, how they want the character to be like. That's like
true. Now, to be fair, I think when you're talking about him being actually like homosexual, but like there is a theory that's a legitimate theory. It's not a very like heavily supported theory, but there are actual historians who have posited that theory long before the game. So the character like Niccolo Machiavelli, there's another one like it, and then like the wheel lock pistol that Da Vinci made. Again, there is evidence that he created one. So like, yeah, that's getting into kind of almost conspiracy theories. But like, when you're dealing with ancient aliens, also like, I'm not gonna worry too much whether or not Da Vinci did or didn't like oranges over apples or bananas. Like, I don't really care. Like at that point, like it's when you start making the characters utterly unrecognizable that I start getting irritated.
Well, like I like I would say my favorite Assassin's Creed is probably Syndicate or Odyssey. It's I don't know.
Odyssey?
Yeah. I liked the Spartan main character, aka Alessandra. For me, some people choose Nicolas. I believe is the male one.
I picked him.
Well, like I choose. I have played I have played both, but like when I played first I played Valhalla, and then when I got into the freaking scene where Alessandra shows up, I was like, all right, when I'm gonna play others, I'm gonna pick Alessandra. Like I like in general I like Ancient Greek and like that theme, so that's why it's probably one of my favorites. And then I like Syndicate because of the brother and sister like main characters basically.
And Syndicate was fun, Syndicate was fun, but Odyssey, I had the same opinion of Odyssey that I have of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and everything else. Fun games, interesting. They're not a Zelda game. Same thing. Odyssey, fun game, interesting. It's not an Assassin's Creed game. When you change the mechanics so much that it's no longer resembling what came before, it's not the same game. Like it's just not. Like it goes from being like a first-person shooter to like a perfect example. Take Lara Croft. She had it. Her entire game was a platformer with shooting mechanics. After that, they started making it a first-person shooter, or a third-person shooter. I can't remember off the top of my head with what the newer games are like. But like, there's not much platforming in it. Like that went away. So like, that's the thing I get issues with. Like kind of like Spyro. They had like Spyro's an old-fashioned platformer, and then they came out and they made freaking whatever the hell that thing was where they had the figures. Like, that's not a Spyro game anymore. Now you have made a different game and you're sticking a character in it.
Yeah, I keep saying this to people whenever like some people ask my opinions or like Assassin's Creed, the modern Assassin's Creed. I keep saying they are not good Assassin's Creed games, but they are to some they are great. They are not they are bad Assassin's Creed games like Origins, Shadow, Odyssey, and Valhalla. Because Mirage is more towards classical Assassin's Creed. But anyways, like those games are good or bad, whatever you liked. Good games or bad games, but they are bad Assassin's Creed games. But in their own right, they are okay game. Like let's take out like Assassin's Creed, the title out of it, and then it's an alright game or good game to my eyes. Yeah, the open world is Ubisoft style. It's boring, whatever. Like to me, it was good. And also the thing is with like Odyssey, it was goodly made game, and even it got even like it was like one of the nominees in 2018, like for the game of the year. But that died. That year, God of War, I believe, won that, or Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know. But like that game was goodly made, but like it's an ass. It's a bad Assassin's Creed game. But like if I have to select the best like classical Assassin's Creed game, it's Syndicate. But like
Syndicate is very good. Again, like it kind of has a way like. That's another part of it is like when you're in charge of areas, like slowly taking over position. They had this in, I think it was Assassin's Creed 3 or 4. You could actually control and manipulate certain areas by like moving around from place to place and like in place your like minions in those areas, and you could have small fights to take over territory and hold her. That was also fun when you could do like territorial claims and there's so many side mechanics that you could put into these that so few people actually utilize.
Yeah, like it's with modern Assassin's Creed games, it's either bad. I would say either bad or mediocre. Like Valhalla. Valhalla's biggest problem is the length. It's too long, and like you have a good time. I would say you have good time with like the first 20 hours. I would say, but like after that, it gets and like I have like the main story is probably like 80 hours, 90 hours, 70 hours long.
Like when after I get Thor's hammer and Gungnir the freaking spear, like I'm not really too worried.
Like I liked Valhalla I bought it like on that was like on $20 on my local shop, and I liked it, but like it's too long. It's damn too long, and
it's fine for what it is. What I don't like is the bait and switch.
Also, I dislike the freaking main bad guy, the freaking twist bad guy, and I
liked that because I was worried they were gonna rewrite history, but no, they just made him like the actual guy who he was. What I couldn't stand is that they freaking spoilers for anybody for the game is years old. When they kill off the main guy who killed your parents in the opening of the damn game. Like, this is the main antagonist. This is the guy who you're supposed to chase across the world and hunt to the ends of the planet. And you just killed him. Good job. Well done. Like, glad to see all that character development and growth to overcome being a weak child which couldn't save anybody to become a strong person that could kill them. Good job, you fucking assholes.
Like, coming back to Shadow, I believe, I don't know, but like that, the two main character aspect, because like the freaking female shinobi and Yosuke are both like main characters at the same time. From a person who played Alan Wake 2, that looks very familiar because in Alan Wake 2, Saga Anderson and Alan Wake are both main characters. In that game, it worked, but like why not just have like the same kind of like system than like with Valhalla or Odyssey that you can choose? Like why not that? I don't like the idea like you have to basically play with both. Just let me pick one. And rework Yosuke as a side character and put someone else like made up, like male, like ninja or samurai.
Put like in a what's his name? Like I can't remember like the freaking big ninja at the time, but put like his apprentice or something in there.
Yeah.
And do like you did with Syndicate. Have a brother and a sister, or you just have it to where like make brother, sister, husband, wife, something like a man and a woman who you can change between at your decision and they pick one and then go for it. Like it's so simple, but like they have other things they want to do, and I'm just like, guys, why?
And like, it's the freaking. There would be a lot like some people would maybe ask like, what? How the hell you could change? The freaking Assassin's Creed games are like about like freaking an animals, like a freaking software that basically like uses your memories to like or that character's memories. That would work. It's not that deep. Like let me change to whenever like I wanna play as a like the female shinobi, or let me play the male ninja or samurai, and bada bim bada boom. It's not that like difficult to explain in a lore way.
Well, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's where the part comes in as like being like husband and wife. Then like it's easy because they're both like ancestors, so it works out easy.
Yeah, and if you wanna have two main protagonists, do it like, and in an open world game, do it the same way as like GTA 5 or Spider-Man 2. That, like for example, like in Spider-Man 2, you can have Miles Morales doing some like rescuing or hitting criminals in like some part of the city, and if you stumble upon it, you can actually help him. Like do that in Assassin's Creed Shadow, please. I would prefer that way. That the main characters do random things. The other main character who you do not control, like that, do some random things in the open world. Like I like the idea. I like Assassin's Creed Shadow that I have seen, and like the freaking the newest like gameplay showcase, it looked way better than the previous ones. But I'm not gonna buy it until it comes to sale because it's a Ubisoft game. I'm grown tired of Ubisoft games. Of like feeling unpolished, or
apparently so's the stock market considering their prices.
Yeah, and I saw the freaking rumors or the articles that Tencent would be buying at some, maybe they would buy the freaking Ubisoft, but I don't like that idea because Tencent games are kind of like, they will probably start adding like gacha systems on the game, so no thank you, because that's most of the Tencent games, like Tencent published games that they have made, so no thank you. I would like no.
We don't need a gambling system on everything, for God's sake. I already do gachas, I already gamble enough as it is. Let's not add it into everything.
That's true. That's true. Like my problem, like my solution would be just with Ubisoft, fire the whole leadership and the CEO and get new, better people on it there. That would be my solution with fixing Ubisoft, because like that's the main problem. I'm believing that like that's the main problem with Ubisoft, that the leadership is ass. And like, who the hell told? I believe actually nobody told, but like, why the hell the CEO of Ubisoft says Skull and Bones is quadruple A game? Why the hell he has
quadruple A?
Yeah, like, and the people who doesn't know what I've said, triple A, I would say is kind of like Hollywood standard like games that are the biggest, like have the biggest budget or biggest blockbusters, and that's, but like quadruple A is, I would say, I don't know why the hell he has said that. like quadruple A is higher and bigger, but and that's like no, that game is not quadruple A. Skull and Bones is not that. No way. If that is a quadruple A, I fucking Binding of Isaac is an open world game. For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Or Escape from Tarkov is a farming simulator. Well, technically, it is for you have to farm freaking loot, but that like a freaking you have to farm. If like
I'm thinking about it too much.
Yeah, like it's that game was hell of a production. The game suffered too many of like game directors' visions and that stuff. Like
That seems to be the common thread. Like too many chiefs.
Too many cooks
Like,
in the
everybody's
kitchen.
too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody's in there trying to do the same damn thing. I'm like, no, guys, back up. Somebody needs to be in charge. One of you, not all of you. Shut the hell up.
And also, I don't like the higher ups of game studios messing up with the development. I don't like that. No, just let the game director work his magic with the studios or studio. Also, why the hell, like for example, Call of Duty has like 6 studios working on a game.
What?
Yeah, they have like basically every like studio on Activision's end work on a Call of Duty.
See, that's one of the games. If I could get a hold of franchises, there are 3 I'd like to get a hold of to be able to make games for. I would love to make a Pokemon game. I'd love to make a Star Fox game. And I'd love to make a Call of Duty game. And if I made a Call of Duty game, I would do something nobody else has done before. I'd make it World War II, but from the Axis point of view. That'd be such a fun game in my mind.
Yeah, but like nowadays the problem is the modern audience is too soft.
No.
They would
Call of Duty audience is not too soft. News organizations and their asshats are too soft. Yeah. But like it would be like a redemption arc thing, like start off in Poland when the fight starts, and then as time goes on, slowly have the recognition, understanding of no, this can't be right, and then the turn. Then there's the heel turn when it comes to like Valkyrie. They're part of the Valkyrie operation. Then they're running away from their own allies and shooting them so they can escape to get to the American front line. And then like you'd have multiple characters and like not all of them make it. A couple of them die on missions and stuff like that. Like I think it'd be fun to go through that kind of a storyline. Like you don't glorify it. You obviously show that it's evil, but it's still a war. I mean, we have no problem putting the Russians in there. Why not?
And I checked, it's actually 12 studios working on a Call of Duty game.
Or what? It's copy and paste. Nothing's changed since the freaking ones I played back on Xbox.
The studios are Activision's, like their own, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, Raven Software, Toys for Bob, Activision Shanghai Studios, Beanox, Demonware, High Moon, Digital Legends Entertainment, and Solid State Studios.
What are they each doing one map? What the hell?
The mainline developers, at least that's how I understand, like Treyarch is for Black Ops games. Infinite Ward is for Modern Warfare games. And Sledgehammer is from random game IPs like Advanced Warfare, Vanguard, and Raven Software is focused on Warzone. Well, whenever Treyarch isn't like releasing a game, they are like a supportive studio for Infinite Ward, and the same goes like Infinite Ward is a support studio to Black Ops. To Treyarch when Black Ops is like going. It's dumb. It's freaking dumb. Why there's like freaking 12 studios? Like, I would pay for freaking Call of Duty game to Activision to release a Call of Duty Zombies game, mainly only a Zombies game. I will pay for that. Like, I don't. And first of all, why Call of Duty games aren't like the modern Call of Duty games aren't like free to play, because they act like a free to play game. Like they have,
like freaking. I think I was actually playing one of them with Ian. He's another streamer I know. I played one with him recently, Modern Warfare, like whatever it is, the Warzone. I'm like, this is just freaking Fortnite, PUBG,
Yep.
same shit, same different formula, different skin. Like, this is the same shit, just different skins. Why are we that? And I'm also in first person. I'm not in third person. Like, what the hell am I doing?
When Warsaw launched, I loved it because it was quite bit different back then. But like nowadays, I don't give a shit about it. It's yeah. In generally, I don't care about battle royale games. They have grown tired on my end. Yeah, I like
Well,
nowadays.
like everybody plays them. Everybody does them. So yeah, it gets tiring after a while.
And somehow Fortnite is still popular.
Because they keep pumping in new characters, dances, the maps are always innovative. They bring in Godzilla, King Kong. Like the map this season is very fun. It's very interesting. It's got interesting weapons. They gave me my freaking kinetic blade back, thank you. Like it has fun stuff to do. But when it comes to like Call of Duty and everything, unless I'm in there shooting terrorists or killing Nazis, like or having some kind of other war of great influence or having some kind of conflict that's interesting to me, why am I bothering? Like it's so boring to have that shit.
I'm always down for Treyarch game because I love Black Ops game. Black Ops 1, fantastic campaign. Black Ops 2, way better branching storylines that Call of Duty didn't do. Black Ops Cold War, mwah, Chef's kiss. Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign. I don't know why. Black Ops 3 campaign. What the hell I'm doing even here? Then Black Ops 6.
Yeah,
good. I would say good
yeah,
campaign.
they're coming out. I remember I just saw that people playing that. But no, like I remember like freaking Modern Warfare 2. I never played that one. I played Modern Warfare 1, played Modern Warfare 3, never got around to playing 2. That was kind of a disappointment to me when it came to 3. I'm like, America got invaded and we fought them off. Why don't we get to fight the Russians? Why don't we get to jump into Moscow? Where's that game?
I believe in I it's been a while since I played those, but I believe what happened in there. Everybody kind of figure out that Makarov it was the reason why the war.
Makarov attacks the president. He kidnaps him.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing, kid? I thought he was on your side, considering all you guys were glorifying this son of a bitch who we killed in the first one. What happened?
In the first they paid the freaking Chikaev.
They killed him, but then they glorify him and he gets a statue.
Yeah, he became a martyr, but like nobody knew Makarov was like he was the freaking person behind like everything. Like he was on the shadows doing stuff. So, and I believe the freaking Russian president in that game is not like freaking warmonger that wants to fight everybody.
Oh yeah, no, the president and like that. But I'm like, wait a minute, why is he like this? Because like, how did he get elected? Because like and why are we attacking? Like, are you brand new? If you're brand new, then okay, that makes sense. But other than that, it's just like that storyline gets a little wonky. But like, I've played a ton of it, so whatever.
But it's still, I would say, way better than the modern Warfare games. Because like with Modern Warfare 3, the development was like they made the game on 9 months. That was a whole mess. Thanks Activision. Modern Warfare 2's campaign, I would say good, but a little disappointing. And the Modern Warfare 2019 that was amazing. Everyone points to the one mission, the freaking one of the freaking clean house, I believe it's the name.
Oh, no Russian.
In the new, yeah, everybody points when somebody is saying iconic missions. Well, no Russians, or like some Black Ops camp missions are very I would say iconic. But like my problem with nowadays with Call of Duty is when this worked well in Cold War, because in Cold War there were this ongoing story, the actual like story that people were interested after the campaign. Like nowadays isn't a story there. The trailers are basically just showing the bundles, showing the skills that you have to pay. I'm here, like that's my problem with Fortnite and a lot of multiplayer games, there isn't a story. Like with Marvel Rivals, there is a story going on. With Overwatch, there was a story going on before they cancel it, basically. Or with like freaking Dead by Daylight has a kind of a story, but kind of a not, kind of a that's
it's a background story that no one cares about.
Or Rainbow Six had a good story, like freaking before they messed it up completely. Or Helldivers having like a freaking Super Earth basically being manipulating the troopers and that stuff. And yeah, I like when multiplayer games are adding a story. Like that's good. That keeps me investing of the game. Like in generally, I like story.
Fortnite kind of has a story. It's kind of like it's like a reality warp society or something like that. It's just a place where realities keep intersecting.
Yeah, like also what happened to Rock? He was part of Fortnite at some point.
Rock, who?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
I've only been playing since like the season before the Gangsters, so like I don't know.
I only saw like memes about it. I was like, what the hell? When he joined.
Pretty sure everybody's in there. Like everybody's like, oh, you mean Rick and Morty from Fortnite? Oh, you mean Godzilla from Fortnite? Oh, you mean Snoop Dogg from Fortnite? Oh, you mean Spider-Man from Fortnite? He's just like, oh my god, shut up.
When they're gonna add,
like everybody's in the game.
I'm waiting that they add like actually like some freaking, if they add like freaking I don't know Trump or Obama there, I'm gonna laugh. If they add like presidents.
I don't think we can ever go that far.
That would be hilarious fighting. Imagine like I don't know. Imagine like Trump like, fighting guy for Godzilla. That would be hilarious.
Like remember freaking gamer subs, like they tried to make Lean and they got a cease and desist order from freaking President Biden.
Yeah. But still that would be pretty hilarious. Like I like to nowadays play like multiplayer games that are like matched. Like the matches aren't like freaking. I know Battle Royale game like Fortnite isn't like a freaking hour long, but like that matches aren't like the freaking League of Legends time matches. Like,
League of Legends can go an hour.
Yeah, around like that. Or mobile games in general can go to like hours and then or hour something like that. But like Marvel Rivals, the matches are usually like 10 to 15 to 20 minutes or something like that. With Dead by Daylight, it's around like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But like they and with Rainbow, I would say it's around the same. But like problem with Rainbow is the freaking the aesthetics of the operators are ass. They are not realistic. That were they were realistic like in the past. But nowadays they have like 2B, they have Hale, they have Master Chief, they have Rick and Morty as operator skins in Rainbow. That is supposed to be a realistic tactical.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they added Rick and Morty to the freaking Rainbow.
No, man, what the fuck? Don't do that shit. Add like historical figures.
Like Rainbows used to be like taking special forces around around the world, like actual special forces. Like there's like Chign, the France.
I remember the book.
Yeah, they're in that game. There is like GNG, the France special ops. Then there's SWAT, FBI SWAT, Brazilian special force. I don't remember the name, but like there's different. But nowadays, I just feel like let's throw everything to freaking into Rainbow Six, and let's throw a monkey wrench and let's see the results.
It's an old series and people are losing interest, so they're just throwing shit at the wall to see if they can keep people's attention.
And I know it's almost 10 years. It will turn this year a 10 to 10. It's a decade old game, but still, come on.
Rainbow Six?
Yeah, it's an almost.
It's older than a decade.
The game.
I remember playing the game, maybe the more recent one, but no, the series is. Whoo, I remember playing that way long ago.
That the newest Rainbow Six Tom Clancy Rainbow Six game is 10 years old, aka Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Siege. That is 10 years.
They haven't let out a new version for 10 years.
Yeah, because it keeps getting updated, and it's like freaking the Ubisoft moneymaker. And it will turn to 10 years this December, but still. That game was a good way to people play a Counter-Strike type of a game, but with ADS and operators and that. But nowadays it's a freaking esports fracking game that But like I'm also freaking and the problems with games that go longer is that I know you lose interest, but like I feel like game companies do dumb decisions for some reasons.
Money.
Yeah, money, but still. Like who the hell choose to put a freaking 2B from Nier Automata to a tactical realistic game? Who the hell choose that?
Well, you gotta be idiots making some money. Yeah. So. People who don't play the game, people who never played the game, so.
And if they put 2B on like a game called like Marvel Rivals or Overwatch, I would be fine with that. Because that game isn't a realistic game at all. It's a Marvel game, or Overwatch's case, it's fantasy. It's in the future of a hero shooter. I've been waiting like Overwatch to release in the Overwatch 1. I would have hoped they would do crossovers, but nope. I like Marvel Rivals is a great like fun. It's a fun, but like with modern style like monetization, of course there's problems with it. Like it's a damn fun game that I'm enjoying right now. It's really fun. And people stop complaining about like tanks and healers. They're fun. But
like, I main Sue, so I'm actually working on getting her to Centurion. And once I get that done, I'm going to work on getting her to Lord.
When the game basically launched, everybody were complaining like nobody's playing healers or tanks. I'm like, they're fun. Like I'm mostly playing like as a tank or a healer.
I have one DPS, and that's Iron Fist. That's a guy who I play. I have one tank, and that's Thor. I play Jeff, Rocket, and Sue. I know them best, and Sue I know better than any of them. So,
like I know that people will say that they will add heroes, and yes, they will actually add a lot of heroes in a per year because their plan is to release every hero almost once a month, like 1 point.
That's the problem I'm worried about is don't flood it. Yeah,
some people are that, but I'm like, give more heroes, please. I wanna, and there's already like 9 heroes leaked. Or something like that.
Yeah, I heard about Rogue coming out. I'm like, don't. And they said she's a support. I'm like, the girl's a tank. She's as strong as the Hulk, if not stronger. How are you gonna make her a DP? How are you gonna make her a support healer?
I'm fine with I'm fine with if they just make some heroes to be different. Like some are like Ultron is gonna be a support healer. I don't get that, but I don't mind it. Like, there's gonna be a Professor
Don't get me wrong.
X.
As soon as I get a chance, as soon as I'm done with Sue, I'll probably start maining Rogue. But you know,
there's like Professor X coming on the game, or Deadpool, Gambit, and some other heroes. And I'm like, yes, thank you. You're adding the right heroes. But like, maybe after this year, like after 2025, maybe slow it down. To like every 3 months, I would say, add a new hero or something like that.
I know Marvel has a shit ton of characters. We don't need every single one of them in there right away. Let's take our time.
Marvel is like 80 years old, something like that. You have time to like put characters, and like I'm still waiting Null, for example, to be added, or Carnage to be added. I'm waiting those.
Put in Venom, so they're trying to probably figure out how to make it to where he's not the same damn character.
Yeah, I would say probably. And with Carnage, he has to be a DPS in my opinion. He's way more. He's not built the same like as a Venom. Venom is, well, in the game he's chunky. He's heavy. He has a fat ass,
which everyone's taking notice of.
Yeah, and fucking huge bulge.
I didn't notice that.
I have seen a lot of clips about that. I'm like, oh yeah, all right. Like, please, after this year, slow down. Like the adding heroes, slow it that down, please. But add more maps, way quicker. I would say that's
it. Yeah, don't focus on characters, focus on maps.
I would say this year, like the first year of Marvel Rivals, focus on both, like respectively. But then after this year, because there's gonna be like around like probably like 50 characters or something like that after this year, focus on adding maps more quickly and more casual game modes. Like, I don't know, like prop hunt, maybe prop hunt will be nice.
Oh my god,
that would
another
be
prop hunt.
That's fun game mode. Or
everybody does.
And it works. It works on every game that I have played. Or a game mode where you throw Wolverines with a Hulk. Or something like that. Or like have fun with the ideas of the game modes. And if that leaks happens, I'm gonna be happy. I wanna see Blizzard's higher ups faces when they realize that. There has been a leak that in Marvel Rivals there's gonna be a PvE mode, like a story mode, which I'm totally in. If that happens, I'm gonna pay for that if that requires, because I wanna see more story from the game.
Interesting how they put a story mode on it.
Yeah, and there is a story going on. There, like, you can actually, like, when you read the freaking hero character infos, there are like stories for that. And also there, like, for example, the midnight, the vampire town. The reason why the Herbie, the robot, is driving for the end of the map is because Herbie is in love with Friday, Iron Man's robot, the IE. That's really funny way. And please, also one more thing that I wanna see the game, optimize it a little bit better, please, because I've been hearing that's a big complaint about, like, with people that they don't have like a good enough PC for playing the game. It like
optimizing
lags.
That's something a lot of VTubers I watch hadn't said to complain about. So like their model gets choppy. I'm like, it's gonna happen. Like they're like, oh, it doesn't happen with other people. Like, depends how beefy your machine is.
Yeah.
Some people have beefier machines. Like, I still got my 30 in here in my computer. It does its job, but it's not going to able to handle as well as like a 4090
or 5090.
Whenever the 50s come out.
I believe they are coming like in next few months. But anyways, yeah, that's
I've been saying that for a year.
RTX 50 series. Well, you can actually pre-order it from Nvidia, so I believe
you can pre-order it, but doesn't give a date.
But anyways, when 50 series come out, I will. Or freaking, I would say if you wanna get like a good, alright graphics card nowadays, I would say go with 4060 or equivalent in AMD side. Or 3060 is good enough in some aspects if you don't play like high-end games. I would say, but like 4060, 4050 is okay, but if you just wanna play games, buy a console. Also, if you are arguing what's the best console, you're a dumbass. It doesn't really matter.
Considering almost all of them except for a Switch are the exact same, yeah.
just be mindful about what they're releasing, like their games. See what Sony is releasing. Like, are you into like Spider-Man games? Well, buy a PlayStation. Or if you are into like Doom games, buy an Xbox. Because well, they own the Xbox anyways. Or if you wanna play an Indiana Jones game, buy an Xbox or something like. And I know PC is probably the way to go, but some people just they don't want to like deal with driver updates or BIOS updates or whatever the situation is. And I know that feeling because I'm a console. I came from consoles. I came from PlayStation, and so. But don't be like Xbox sucks or PlayStation sucks for this and reason. Nobody. They don't. They are kind of the same with their own sources and your own taste. Of course, it's gonna matter. And if you're a Nintendo boy, well, good luck. Good on you. Because you are gonna have your exclusives and you're gonna have your own Nintendo games. Like I'm gonna buy Nintendo Switch 2 when they release Fire Emblem, a new Fire Emblem game. That's when I'm gonna buy it. And because I loved it, I loved Fire Emblem Three Houses. I played the other game, like Fire Emblem Engaged and Fire Emblem 3 Warriors. I played them. They are
my favorite Fire Emblem still from the Game Boy Advanced eras.
I've been waiting a Fire Emblem Three Houses style of a game but nobody has made it. Nobody has made a class game that you're a teacher for one of the three houses. And I have played that game, I don't know, 300 hours or something like that. And I loved it. I still can play it whenever I want it. I will never get it bored out of the game. Never. And I will be thankful for Nintendo's riders for that experience.
Nintendo always makes good games. Even if they'll flop every now and then, it's very rare. Most people, like, literally, they're good at making games when the most people can bitch about is your graphics aren't that high fidelity. No shit. Go play a freaking Nintendo. Go play a PC or freaking something else. We're not here for graphics. We're here for something else. And if they'll freaking, for love of God, stop trying to make Pokemon an open world game. Go back to Blue, go back to Red, go back to Ruby, go back to Sapphire, go back to that, and make it the same thing. Go back to that standard and make it like these Zelda chibi games they keep making. Those are fun. People buy them. And stop making it where the damn Pokemon are visible 10 miles away. When I run through the grass, I want to be surprised.
But that statement that Nintendo doesn't make bad games, well, it is kind of true, but it's kind of not, because who the hell made
perfect.
Yeah, I know. But who the hell made Pokemon Scarlet and Witch? I keep saying Scarlet and Witch, but it's not.
Violet.
Scarlet and Violet. That game is embarrassing. It's freaking broken as hell. You should have
Again, it's because they tried to make an open world game.
And Nintendo Switch's hardware is potato. And Nintendo Switch's hardware is potato, so that's also probably one of the reasons. Like, every game series doesn't need to be an open world, but like I've been saying, if there's the right people on the helm, it could work. And I would like to play an open world Pokemon game if the game is done right.
No.
Like,
no. I don't want it. I want my borders and I want my fences back.
If the world is interesting, it keeps me hooked up. Why not? I'm always.
Again, it's like what I said about Zelda. Like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, very interesting. They're not Zelda games because they don't have the same Zelda mechanics. They don't have the same Zelda bosses. They don't have the same Zelda technique. It's a completely different game with a Zelda skin. If you change Pokemon to an open world game, it stops being Pokemon. It becomes Power World. Which I know everybody, it's a Pokemon ripoff. Yeah, we know that, but it's its own beast. It doesn't have the same mechanics as Pokemon. It's just a weird, different little creature that has its own strange appearance.
I'm always open that if the game studios wanna evolve their games from one to another, if it's done right. like if a game series has been linear for like I don't know for whole time and they wanna start advancing more towards an open world game, do it slowly. Do it slowly and surely and figure out the right way to do an open world game. If that is what you want. If you want to make a farming simulator with Pokemon, or you want to make a slave simulator with Pokemon, figure it out.
Okay, we're getting a little dark.
That's Palworld in a nutshell.
Oh boy.
Kind
That's the thing I can't stand about Power World. I'm adding guns and shit. Can we get rid of that? Like, it's fun. No, it's not.
That's dumb fun. It's supposed to have dumb fun. Like, I've been
waiting. I'm fine with the resource collecting and everything else, but like, why am I giving them guns when they can spit freaking water bullets faster than do more damage?
Why not? It's dumb fun. Like, I wanna see Pokemon to make a Dark Souls game. I wanna see that.
The fuck? Again, we're getting into the point where it's no longer a Pokemon.
Yeah, but still.
It's called Monster Hunter.
Nah. It's not Dark. God. Monster Hunter is not as difficult as Dark Souls.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I wanna see a different style of games with every game genre.
How would that even work? Pokemon Dark Souls, like.
Hire here, Miyazaki. He will figure it out. I will buy everything what he makes. Because everything that he has so far made is great. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Elden Ring Nightingale, I would believe it's pronounced. It's probably gonna turn out great, but it's not gonna be amazing as like Elden Ring. Yeah, I know, I suck at those games, but I still love them. I love them. I love the freaking everything on those games. But like, I wanna see dumb ideas with games but one thing that I'm very hopeful is with Nintendo Switch 2 that the hardware is little bit like more like between PlayStation 4 and 5, like or Xbox One or Xbox Series X. I'm hoping it's between that. I know Nintendo's always been like lacking with technology, I know, but still. And their developers are amazing with like, they are like getting so much out of like, they made like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom from with that hardware. And yes, sometimes they look like they are not optimized well, blah, 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 but still. And like, I'm gonna probably say like after like 10 years from now, or like 15 years, whenever like Nintendo Switch 3 or whatever the next Nintendo console after like Nintendo Switch 2 releases, probably that console is probably gonna be as powerful than like PlayStation 5, and then every game is probably on that console looks probably at least quite good. Of course, every game has its own art. Most of the game has their own art style, and if the art style looks bad, the game does look bad, etc. But we can hope that Nintendo's art people who are charged for the art style of the games, they look great, hopefully, and they work well. They don't play like if the games are like 20 FPS, please optimize it better. I don't want to play like freaking I don't want to freaking play a freaking pixel, so that is like freaking few pixels at the time. No, thank you. But have fun with games, and make more surprising hits like Splatoon, for example. I wanna see like
that's what Nintendo always does. They always innovate.
Yeah, and like I wanna see like hi-fi rush style of games more. I wanna see those. I wanna see more of those, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns. How the games on Nintendo Switch turns out. All right. The first question, because that's enough for yapping. I wanna actually ask.
Oh wait, we have questions. Oh damn. Okay.
What are your plans for the future?
Well, I actually just put up a Fiverr, stands for voice acting. I'm gonna try to start building my resume on that, and slowly but steadily trying to build up my following when it comes to Twitter, when it comes to Twitch and YouTube. A little bit slow on that right now, but just trying to develop like actual connections and actual followings on that as I stream. And that's my goal in the future is to grow in that to where I can start becoming successful from it.
Slowly but surely is the way to go, in my opinion.
Mm.
Because like if you became popular enough in day, I feel like that would be like in a long term not good. I don't know. I don't know what's the right thing here, but like I would feel like that is the case. But like, but yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good plan, and I'm hoping that you'll become a great creator. At least what I have seen from your content, it will be. It looks so far. It looks great.
Appreciate it.
But it's like I've been in most of the case. It's a marathon sprint. You'll learn while playing, while doing the act stuff like editing and that stuff. You'll learn. Everyone learn. And yeah, I'm hopeful, and I'm predicting that you're gonna become a great content creator. What's your favorite part being a VTuber?
Just the interactions, like hanging out with other VTubers is really fun, and just talking to chat. That's the most fun part. Being able to sit there and have to have anime angst in real life is the best part about it. I mean, that's what attracted me to it when I first saw it back in 22, and that's what attracts me to it now. I love interacting with other people who are fun, who just play off each other.
I see. No, that's kind of also answered the follow up question. So the follow up is why VTuber being a VTuber and not a FleshTuber?
I don't want to show my face.
Ah, okay.
You want a face reveal? Ask Iron Mouse to go first.
I especially understand when people are from NA, because in NA the swatting is really big trouble for like streamers. For some reason.
Well, that, and also in my job, I don't want anyone to be able to pull that up and say, "What are you doing?"
Okay. So it's basically for the security reason, and you don't want to just show your face, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's understandable. What will be your dream collab?
With a couple of them up there. I'd probably say there's two sides to this coin. There's one dream collab because they're huge among my market and the people who'd be most likely to watch me. And then there's two, the huge collab because there's somebody who I really like and enjoy and want to and hang out with. There's so many people who I actually watch, like Lily and Zentrea and Moonified Mooney, Meow Moonified, and all these other streamers and everything. And then there's also other ones that I've done research and videos like Stender and also Connor and everything. But if I had to say someone who I'd want to actually collab with for the side of help me grow and help me become more successful, I probably want to say Sayu or Saikuno. Probably Sayu. I think it'd fit more better on me on that one because he's very he's very chaotic. He's very much of a gremlin, and he's also got like that strong influence of like. I mean, people are watching him because of like voice acting and everything else, and because he's a male model and everything, and that's very similar to what I am too. So I think that probably for my business sense, I'd want him. But if I was going to be able to collab with anybody just because of just I know them or know of them, it'd probably be Trikiwi because she is my very first VTuber.
All right.
And I've been following her and I've been subscribed to her ever since. I think almost at 3 years now.
Jesus Christ, time really flies.
Yep.
And it's like I feel like the best collab way is when both like parties, like both people or people, like the whole group. If there's a lot more, the whole like the group or both people will benefit from it. I feel like that's the best way to collab. That's just my take on it. But like maybe in a few years or a year, you'll do it. I believe in you. Just keep growing and just make the best content that you can do.
Well, I've been reaching out. I've been doing collabs every single week, so hopefully it eventually catches it on.
Damn, you are putting the work. That's amazing to see. And I would say probably the last question is what the plans are for the future? Yeah, what the plans for the future are?
Well, I'm still making my research videos, and I'm still working on finishing Nanners. I need to get all of my research done on her. I've watched all her videos. I got to keep going through her timeline. And the thing about her, her lore is everything about her being like a eldritch being, which no one understands. And by God, that's the truth when it comes to digging up on her past of what she used to be like. But trying to get that done and that video published, and like I said, trying to reach out and see if I can get voice acting connections to where I'm building a resume to where I can start getting bigger and better roles. Because I've done acting in the past where I've actually been in front of a camera as an extra. Not very fun for me, but I love like being an actual actor when it comes to voice acting. It's always fun for me to like reenact my favorite characters. And then this February for Valentine's Day, I have a karaoke stream coming up.
That's that will be exciting. And I came to I freaking find it. I came to more like a website that is for voice calling, and it's called Casting Club.
Yep, there's a couple of them.
Yeah,
I started off on Fiverr just because it's easier to create, but I'm going to eventually expand out.
A friend of mine who did some voice acting work, and he found that the Casting Club helped. Like he tried like Fiverr and other stuff. Like Casting Club is like he recommends that a lot. I don't know because I haven't done any voice acting like work, and I'm probably never gonna. It's not for me. I'm more like an introvert than an extrovert, I would say. So, and I'm way too dumbass to be a role to be an actor because I keep forgetting what I have to say most of the time.
That's the other easy part about being a voice actor is you have the script right there in front of you. You don't have to worry about heavy memorization.
Yeah, but the problem with that is my brain freezes a lot. So I would just keep still forgetting the lines. But yeah. And yeah, actually this came to my mind. What will be the perfect role? Not scratch that. What would be your dream roles? Will be in voice acting, in anime, games, animated movies, whatever.
All three above, pretty good for me. Like I love it when you get to be that. But I've already mentioned him, like Tim Curry. He is my idol when it comes to voice acting. When it comes to acting, period. I love playing villains. Bad guys are always, as the song goes, it's so easy being evil. It's very enjoyable to be the bad guy. Like people are like, oh, I want to be the hero and the champion. Or like, no, I want to be the evil, maleficent bastard sitting above you while you're slowly being lowered into a vat of lava or acid, clicking my fingers together, monologuing about how there's no way I can lose. I mean, one of the best speeches in all of anime. Nobody remembers the hero speeches. Nobody remembers the champion speech. They remember from Lord of the Rings because, like, the villains barely even exist in those movies. They're just an unknowing dark force, a cloud on the horizon. But in anime, everybody remembers the villains. I mean, the most famous villain speech ever starts off, "My friends, it has often been said that I like war. I love war." Like, that is the most iconic speech in anime, and it's given by one of the most evil sons of bitches in the series. I'd love to. If you told me they were going to recast the Major, I'd play for that part.
So, in a nutshell, villains are your...
Yes.
Yeah. All right. That's.
I even put that on my resume. Like, I can do anything, but I main villains.
That's totally understandable, and I would say most of the time villains are like those that stay on your head most of the time in every like media. Like when you think when you think about Star Wars, Darth Vader or
Vader,
Palpatine,
exactly what I was gonna say.
When you think about like Batman or Arkham, Joker, or Two-Face or whatever, like bad guys. Or if you or if you think about like
Oddly enough, he's voiced by Mark Hamill.
If you think about Mario, you can think
Bowser.
Yeah, Bowser. Or Spider-Man, like Venom. Well, nowadays he's more like an anti-hero villain. Or Carnage. Like villains will come to mind first because they are more interesting. They keep you keep you and the hero or the main character on their toes. They are the interesting characters. They do the most in the story usually. At least I feel like that. And they are usually the most like the most good looking or the most like badass looking because well they have to be, they are the villains.
They have to be intimidating.
Yeah, and they have the most charisma usually, like or the most dominant percentage of the cast.
That's probably attracting me too.
Yeah. Except if you look Vader under his helmet, yeah, that's.
Well, any villain, there's like a glamour about them when you strip the glamour. Like I just said about the Major, like in the spoilers again, when he gets eventually shot, you see he's just a machine. Like he's such a machine underneath because like all the trappings of glory are gone. It's like that's just how it is.
Yeah, and like of course, like if you strip any character that is like looking like that has like an outfit that is very badass. If you strip that, it would look like kind of dumb. So yeah. If you what in what IP you would like to play in? If like IP, I mean like what series you would like to play in? Like would you like to be in like I don't know if in Attack on Titan for example, or like what series you would like to be the most?
Series
or movie or anime or whatever, like board game.
Movie, anime, series, board game. An actual existing IP. That's an interesting question I've never really thought about. So, because there's so many other ones you could actually roll over. Like we've talked about almost everything under the sun, like Star Wars and stuff like that. If they made a good Lord of the Rings, like a good Lord of the Rings animation, like they made that recent movie, it's shit, it sucks, by the way, like the Rohan one. But if they made a good one, like a proper one, like based off the Silmarillion, I would love to play a part. Now there's a twist. If I'm in a Lord of the Rings movie, I'd love to play one of the heroes, one of the like old stalwart men of ancient times, like on Numenor, trying to fight off Sauron. Like that would be, because I say like in anime the villain speech, but in Lord of the Rings everybody remembers Theoden's speech. It's a red dawn when the sun rises. That one, that is something that just gets your blood pumping.
Yeah, I would say that's true. And I didn't watch the newest Lord of the Rings movie. I was just like, I would probably pass. Like, that would be pretty good if they made like new, like an interesting or at least good Lord of the Rings movies or like good series, because I believe a good percentage of like Lord of the Rings fans kind of dislike the series. I don't remember its name. The freaking HBO series.
Rings of Power.
Yeah, that's, I believe.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, yeah. I haven't watched it. I'm mostly. When I watch Lord of the Rings, I watch either Hobbits or the original series, the movie series.
Yep.
I don't understand like why some people like when Hobbits came out, like those movies came out. people were like disliking it for some reason. I don't know why. At least
It's because I've read the book and it's not the same spirit. People don't understand. It's like the book, The Hobbit, is a kid's book. That's the words of J.R.R. Tolkien himself. And the spirit and nature of the book is very different from from the Lord of the Rings when it comes on. Lord of the Rings gets much in the first book goes from kind of that kidsy thing, the kind of kidsy theme from Hobbit, gets very serious and it transitions more into what we think of it when we think of the movies. But the Hobbit itself is very different. Thorin is very much a different character. And because it wasn't as loyal to the books, a lot of purists don't like it, and then they always complain about the strategy and the tactics make no sense. I'm like, none of that makes sense at all in Lord of the Rings. Like, a bunch of nobody cares. Again, back to Theoden's charge. Like he charges an entire field of horses into a line of spears and spikes. That shit didn't work in the old days. Nobody brings that up, but because in Hobbits, like the dwarves show up and then the orcs don't go around them when there's this opening on the side. Who cares? Like it's meant to be fancy and bloody. That's the whole job. I'm like, oh, but the elves jumped over the shield wall. Who cares? They want to get in a fight. Who cares? But like that's something they'll complain and moan about that a lot. And also how like it's not exactly like the book. It's not supposed to be, because you cannot make the Hobbit book into a movie without having some severe tonal whiplash in compared to the movies that he already made, because they're so different. So that's why it is. People just don't like, because it's like a conflict of purism versus new age. I personally, I've read the book, I've watched the movies, I like the movie better. It feels more in that spirit. Now, of course, there's some stupid decisions they make, like how they kill Smaug, but other than that, it's fun.
As somebody who has just like watched the movie, I haven't read the book, but like I like them. They're not my favorite, but they're alright, and I liked Bilbo. I like the freaking Morgan Freeman. Not him. Freaking
Freeman.
No, freaking who played freaking who played in Martin Freeman. Sorry, Martin Freeman. I liked him in those movies. He played Bilbo Baggins quite good in my opinion.
Oh,
not Morgan Freeman.
He does a good job.
No,
hello, this is Morgan Freeman, and I'm playing Bilbo Baggins.
Not that I said that I cannot think Bilbo Baggins without Morgan.
He could play a Hobbit in the new one.
That would be pretty good, in my opinion, if Morgan Freeman will play Bilbo.
Morgan Freeman's 110 years old. He ain't gonna be doing anything. Leave the man alone. Let him enjoy his retirement.
Yeah, I know, but still, that I would freaking pay that. I would love that if that would happen. Oh well. But yeah, Lord of the Rings, you said, would be, if they made an good or interesting like an animated movie, you'll be down to play there.
Mm-hmm. Love to play in it.
I would see you. This is just my take. I would probably see you as like an old, like some type of a Gandalf character.
Fool of a took. Next thing, throw yourself in and rid us of your stupidity.
See,
I actually do a really good impersonation of him. Shut it, boss. Like people say, like when I do that, I get a pretty dead on. So like, yeah, cast me as Gandalf.
Yeah, like I would feel like you could do Ian, if not Ian. I keep freaking forgetting actors' names.
His name's Ian.
Ian McDill. What the hell? Freaking, what the hell is his name? My brain.
Ian McDilf. That's my code name.
Yes. Freaking. The hell? I keep forgetting. Jesus Christ.
I can't remember his name and his last name, but it's Ian something.
Ian McKellen. Yeah. You could.
Yeah. God rest him.
You could be a young Ian McKellen. Of course, like.
True.
Of course, every voice requires like training, like etc. Like, if you just
practice.
Yeah. Like, or you could play like young Christopher Lee, Saruman, I believe he played.
That'd be easy enough.
And they're probably
Saruman's not that hard.
that works. That works. And so what? I don't know who exactly owns Lord of the Rings IP, because they sold it and then they bought it and somebody sold it and then.
Technically, they don't own. No, technically, it's still owned by the Tolkien family. So they just are giving it out and rights to it. Certain rights are licensed to certain people, so it's like spread out. But the Tolkien family still has it.
Exclusive worldwide rights to motion picture, merchandise, date, other rights in certain literary works of J.R.R. Tolkien, including Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, were sold by Tolkien himself to United Artists in 1969. Reportedly, by a small amount, are currently owned by Middle-earth Enterprises. All right.
Yeah, they sold rights to it, as in they can do it. They didn't sell it completely. Like, Lucas, he sold Star Wars. He didn't sell the rights. He just sold it.
All right.
Splitting hairs, but anyway.
All right. But yeah, anyways, those freaking whoever, like Tolkien or anyone who sees us and wants to make a Lord of the Rings movie, and he's listening this, hire Koi as a young Gandalf or young Saruman or young like a wizard type of a character, please. I want to see that.
They ever do a story about the Blue Wizards, I can do that.
Or hire Koi as a freaking hobbit. I want to see that also.
Shush.
Why not? And yeah, I know your voice wouldn't probably match like a hobbit. Maybe. I don't know. Well, still.
I can pitch it different ways.
Yeah, that's actually true with voice actors. They do pitch their voice. Like, anyone who has seen Solo Leveling's English dub know the freaking main character's freaking voice actor does a good range of voice. So I would say quite good amount of voice actors do that. Like, they pitch their voice to fit the character.
Yeah.
So it's not possible. It's not impossible to freaking fit a character, but you see some characters, some voice actors to fit the right character, etc., or the right character type, like a villain or a hero or whatever. But yeah, I would say that's probably all I wanted to talk with you.
Sounds good. I mean, hey, we've gone like
2.5
hours, so I think we were thorough.
Yeah. Thanks everybody who listened to this. Koi's socials, Koi's social medias are gonna link every social media is gonna be linked below. Go and follow him in everyone. Go and watch his streams. He's a fantastic guy. He's also funny when he wants to be funny,
which is rare.
Yeah,
I don't want to be funny often.
And if you want to find your local bartender, because Koi's, like, whenever Koi goes to live and in his Discord, there's like, it's basically like something like a bar, because I'm usually late because Koi is from United States, I'm from EU. It's freaking bars open and KoiKitsu.
He's from the planet's refrigerator. He's up in Finland.
Yeah, Koi, like, whenever Koi goes to live, it's bars open. So he's a bartender. Go and order a drink from him, aka follow him on his Twitch. And I will see you next time. Bye.